بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
The Battle of Uhud is secondary decisive battle between the leaders of the Quraysh and their army against Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Islamic army. The Battle of Uhud took place 3 years after the Prophet's hijrah to Medina and 1 year after the Battle of Badr. The Battle of Uhud had a main object to murder Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and to destroy Islam. After the Battle of Badr, where the Muslims were victorious in defeating the Meccan army, the leaders of Mecca were enraged. They were humiliated and upset that their large army lost to such a smaller army. Therefore, they wanted to redeem themselves and destroy Islam once and for all. They gathered a much larger army and prepared for Uhud. Similar to the Battle of Badr, the Islamic army were outnumbered. The Meccan army had exponentially increased size, containing 3,000 infantry with 3,000 camels and 200 horsemen. The Muslim army was equipped with 700 infantry, 50 archers, and 4 horsemen. Abu Sufyan, a leader of Makkah, led the Meccan army against the Islamic army. Mount Uhud was a very strategical and geographical benefit for the Islamic army. It provided structural defense for the Muslims. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ had deployed his forces accordingly. He placed 50 marksmen, archers, at the slope of the Mount Uhud. This was to ensure that the backs of the Muslims fighting below would be protected and that the opposing forces could not attack from behind. He commanded and ordered that these marksmen never leave their posting regardless of the situation. On the battlefield, 3 lines of defenses were issued by the Muslim army, and just like the traditions of the time, a representative was called forward to start the battle. Hazrat Ali was called forth representing the Muslim army, and the Meccan army was represented by Talha ibn Abu Talha. He was also the bearer of the banner of the pagans. During that time, the bearer of the banner was considered to be the leader of the army. Within one swift motion, Hazrat Ali was able to defeat Talha and those to come after him. As fighting began, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ would yell Allahu Akbar and charged forward. As the Muslims were gaining more momentum, they rapidly defeated those of the opposing forces. That then caused for the switch from defense to offense. The Muslims were led by Hazrat Ali, Hazrat Hamza, and more. This causes Muslim forces to gain morale. Unfortunately, during this approach, Islam had lost one of its greatest soldiers, Hazrat Hamza, who was known as Lion of God because of his courage, bravery, and skill. on the battlefield. As Muslims were successful in making the Makkans retreat back, a fault in those marksmen happened. The marksmen who were posted at the slope of Mount Ahad retreated down to the battlefield. Out of their pride and their greed, they disobeyed their orders. Seeing how less marksmen were posted on the slope, the Meccan army saw this opportunity and started to go around the mountain and attack the Muslims from behind. The Muslim army, unaware and confused, were attacked from the back. It caused so much confusion on who was fighting who that Muslims killed their fellow Muslims. Unfortunately, so much so that a lot of Muslims fled and retreated from the battle, leaving the Prophet and his loyal companions and believers behind. Because of this act, many Muslims were killed at the Battle of Uhud. At the same time, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was struck with an arrow and was rumored that he was dead. But Subhanallah, Allah was protecting his messenger and he was pronounced alive. Ali was one of the brave soldiers who continued to protect Prophet Muhammad sallallahu as the other Muslims left the battle. He fought bravely for Islam and may Allah be pleased with him. His sword is legendary. Zulkifar, a sword that was given to him by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu as the Muslims retreated back to Mount Ahad. The Meccan army withdrew and fled the area. Many of the bodies of those killed in battle were buried at the site itself. As the Muslims retreated back to Mount Uhud, the Meccan army withdrew and fled the area. Many of the bodies of those killed in battle were buried at the site itself. At this point, the Battle of Uhud became a significant lesson for Muslims. It was a hard lesson to learn that caused a lot of deaths due to the pride and greed of those marksmen. It caused them to be reckless in battle. This act taught the Muslims to never give in to their pride and always be humble. It taught them about the evils of greed and the need to be disciplined and need for humility. As Allah said in Quran, Allah did indeed fulfill His promise to you when you, with His permission, were about to annihilate your enemy until you flinched and fell to disputing about the order and disobeyed it after He brought you insight which you covet. Among you are some that hanker after this world, and some that desire the hereafter. Then did he divert you from your foes in order to test you, but he forgave you, for Allah is full of grace to those who believe.